Hello, Paprika here, back with another replay review. This time we have Snowy again. Snowy just had another replay they wanted me to look at. I'd always oblige. On my coaching Discord, which you can find a link in the description, Snowy has been getting both helping and also asking for advice, and so they wanted me to look at this replay. Basically, based on the things I talked about in the last video, are they improving? What else could they do differently? This is a victory. I think what's interesting this time, I usually look at losses, but I think we can also do with victories to see, could we have won better? Like, a lot of times, I mean, I've had it where I've won, I'm like, I should not have won that game. I made a lot of mistakes, and there's always things we can learn from wins and losses. So, let's see what we're doing here. So, we have English on Dry Arabia. This should be a great matchup for you. Because as a Night Civ, you're the best adapted to fight English. The one issue you do have, potentially, is going to be that, since unlike French, who open up school cavalry, can make knights immediately, you have to actually get a stable up and start making knights. And English can just pump out units immediately with their council hall and get a barracks done pretty fast. My suggestion, do not go 2TC against English. At your skill level, this is gold. You could probably get away with it. But if we're coaching to a higher level, of a vision of what it means to play at a higher level, a good English player shuts down your second TC. Their longbows get there too fast, and even if you're doing it like under your Kremlin, they can still just harass the crap out of that because longbow range is so good. So you generally don't want to go 2TC against English unless you're seeing them do like an all-out castle rush or doing like, what's the other landmark? Their other landmark, basically. But that's rare. I suggest you do 1 TC, and you can either do 1 TC into castle or just 1 TC feudal fight. I suggest 1 TC feudal fight until you've either pushed them back and then you go castle, or you just try to win in feudal with rams. So let's see how you do it. I know you do win, so I'm interested to see how you do it, and let's jump into it. So last time I watched one of these videos, I gave the advice to make a scout out of TC and hunting cabin, and then I got some feedback from Roost players who were like, actually, the consensus is do 2 out of hunting cabin, and hey, I'm willing to learn 2. I get it. You don't want to lose a villager out of the town center. I think the only reason I would say that you'd want to do scout out of TC is to scout out just a little bit faster if you think it's going to provide you advantage, but getting that villager is really helpful. So I'm not going to argue it. If you want to do 2 scouts out of the hunting cabin, great. It still works. You should still get most of the sheep. You should still get the hunts. I want to make sure, are you going to get the sheep back in time? It's going to be a critical part here. And how's your coverage of the map? Because I think I would have preferred the second sheep go over your second scout go over here. Your third one's gonna clean up this way. Okay. Let's see how this pattern plays out here. Where are the hunts? They all must be on this right side of the map. Good catch in the back. Is the second one coming back to drop off sheep? Perfect. No idle time on the villas. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So you get that. Where are the other packs? Wow. Oh, there's just one in the corner that you haven't seen. Ah, it's right in the corner. Okay. So unfortunately, you didn't get the bounty yet that you need. You need to kill these wolves though. So at this point, you need to start hunting wolves. That scout's on your ass. The other thing you can do is just bring up your second. Yep, bring up your second and third scout and fight them, or at least your second scout. Third scout's over here. Beautiful. Getting this. Your build's looking good. Kremlin placement. Not doing it. Here's why. It could be a little bit better. Shift to the left. Because think about what you're protecting here. You're protecting this gold and this wood line. I want it right here. If it's here, it protects this wood line because he can't walk his archers through. It protects this gold and also gives you this deer, which is huge. Right now at this position, if you're at this deer, his longbows can easily touch that. If you place it, so think about the cutoff like a choke point, basically. If you place it here, you've choked up a lot more of the map. You'd have to walk around it. You could push the deer farther in. You could wall. This gives him too much opening still. So the best way to like build these landmarks, like for China, for example, Barbican, that are defensive, you want to ask yourself, where am I cutting off the most space and protecting the most resources? And a shift just a little bit to here, I think does wonders for this landmark. You go near killing wolves. I would run this scout right back up to this scout here, and then you guys double team him and you see if you can get him. Okay. House, good. We're up. 9 idols. Okay, the next thing I should see is you are scouting immediately. Move these villas, move these villas, move these villas. Took a little long. Just a tad long. That's being very critical. You know what I mean? Very critical. But we'd always be a little bit more efficient. You know when your landmark's about to be dropped. I need a scout sitting right here. So basically you want to have each scout cover resources. One scout is here. Is he going 2TC? Is he on gold? One scout here. One scout here. Because this tells you, is he dropping more production? Is he sending units? This scout should not be standing by your base. Hashtag no scouts by base. Hashtag no scouts by the base. Good. What you could do, basically, is if you're low on micro, or you're focusing on something else, have just shift A, attack your scout like a hole through this area, and he'll just auto hunt every wolf. At least I think he will. If I'm wrong on that, let me know. But right now, the same feedback as last time. You have no vision on his base. Because right now, if you did, you'd see that he already has longbows coming out, and he's built a barracks, so he's fighting. Another thing you could have seen is he has 2 on gold. That means he's fighting. He has 18 on wood. That means he's fighting. Like, even if you can't get the whole picture, that's our cues. How many are on gold? Not very many. Probably fighting. A lot on wood. Dropping production. Probably fighting. None on stone. He's not doing 2TC. So, check the resources. Quickly. I'm interested what your goal is this night. I'm glad... I would have liked if you sent this knight across the map with a scout. Because if he tries to leave early, you could pick a longbow or 2 of a knight before he gets a spearman out. Or if he is slow with the spearman, you could be in the wood line a little bit, messing him up. Just a thought. This is way too late to get our first vision of the base. Good. No, you see. No on stone. House. Dropping 2 archery ranges, which is correct. Instead of the 2 archery ranges, I would love if one of these archery ranges was a blacksmith. Because against civs that are heavy into archers, longbow, which with English, China with the Zugnu, Ottoman with their archer ball, you want to get the blacksmith up immediately and get arrow defense. Because the arrow defense in your knights, especially considering if you want to raid English with their better TC, the arrow defense making your knight's armor 3 to 4 is huge. So I would, instead of doing 2 archery ranges, do 1 and a blacksmith. And then add the archer second one after that. Right now your macro though is really good. If you're watching this, notice how he's zeroed down on his resources. He is not over collecting anything yet. His macros are on point. At this point, this is when I would suggest you move out onto your first hunt. Not with all your food villages, but with some. So like 6 over 6, or you could do 8 on this. And if you notice he's coming this way, you could drop a wooden fortress. Good. Now we have a little bit of coverage. I need this one a little bit more down here. Gonna get on the gold. Boom, boom. Don't overstay your welcome. See, that second vill wasn't worth it. Because this knight's going to die super easy. I would have done the 1 villain back. Because you've accomplished your goal. He's off gold. And then you relocate. This is also why, especially because you only have 1 knight right now, if you can get the second knight here, then you can do the thing where if both knights hit a villager at the same time, the villager insta-dies. And then you can just do pick-offs. You just don't want to overstay your welcome under this TC. Because this knight's basically useless now. And for 2 vills, yes, that's nice, but you can make the knight work for longer. This housing sucks because now you're behind on an archer, a knight, and a vill, potentially 2 vills. You went on the hunt, beautiful, and you have the upgrade, perfect. To me, he's officially stuck in base mode. You've killed a vill. I view him as basically stuck in his base. This is your chance to go get boar, especially because this boar is so far away from your base. Because if he's going to attack you, he's going to beeline to your base. So I think you send 8 to boar, drop the one fortress, and you start getting the boar with another 8 bills. Especially if your goal is a feudal play. Ooh, I hope you're sending a knight to this one. But see how... So that was your first big macro mistake, is forgetting this house. Because you could already have a knight here raiding these wood villagers right here. And I would send the knight ahead of the archers. Just because you need the knight there as soon as possible. And walking with the archers is slowing him down. Oh, there's so many good openings right here. Holy tromoli. I would, at this point, you're rallying to him. Right now, you're so rallying next to the base. I'd have these all on 3, or whatever hotkey you use. I'm relying up here, and I am just constantly making units. I'm tabbing through QQ, W, checking my base, queuing up a villager, sending another group to a different resource. The scout's here, so I wouldn't go that way, so I'd go over here. The lack of blacksmith is really hurting you here. I need you to prioritize blacksmith a little bit more. Going in. Boom. Don't overstay your welcome. Nice. You're going to pick some spears here, which is great. Where's your third knight? Oh, did you lose it already? Oh, you brought him over here. Okay. If you had left him up here, that actually would have been a great moment to then hit the gold line again. Because the second he pulls all his units down here, you could come in up here and probably get 2 or 3 villagers before he realizes. That's like, it's always nice as a knight save. You want a main force of all your archers and knights, and then 1 or 2 knights on the opposite side. You will see high level players do this all the time. The second they do the first raid and you rotate down, you bring in the other 2 from the top. Nothing fancy, especially if you're low micro. Just A, move them in. Like, right click them, shift A, right next to where you know they're going to be. Move the second you move these ones back and save, you then go up and move them back, and you will get so many villager kills. I know because it's happened to me. It's so frustrating. That's a little way to make your raids even more effective. You also got a great look at his mass right now, which is he's going way more into spears than archers, which is good for you. All you need to do is mass a whole bunch of archers, and you'll win. Alright, so I like the macro rotation. You noticed, okay, I need more archers. I have 3 ranges, but only 8 on wood. I think if you're macro cycling, where you're constantly asking, villagers, am I making units? How's my resources looking? You realize, I need more archers, I saw a lot of spears. I have 3 archery ranges, but only 8 on wood. So you cannot produce out of these archery ranges consistently. And that's the case. 1, you should keep making knights. 1 at a time. But you could have taken 5 of these food villagers, especially because you're on deer here, and sent them onto wood. 3 to 5. If you want the wood right now. Or just keep rallying to wood, but moving 3 or 4 off food onto this. And also, once again, your chance to take 8 villagers and go take this hunt. And doing 2 hunts, you'll have plenty of food. Then you can just go purely onto wood and keep getting archers. But I like the macro rotation. I wish it happened a little bit faster. Womp womp. Okay, we still need to actively scout, though. And this is your chance. Make another scout. And please don't do this. I do not like the moving your main force without a scout. Just make a second scout. So make a second scout. Keep this one with your army because you need to see what's happening. Make sure you have a all idle units button. For me, I do Control A. I'm sorry, no, that's villagers. For me, it's on the side of my mouse so that you can move all your military together. Don't run your... No! Archer, no! Let's say don't run your archer through that. I'm guessing we're going to age up. This is actually a great age up. You've delayed him. He's stuck in his base. You've built a force so that he can't walk on you once you age up. That's kind of your best spot. If you were real ballsy, you would put it here. Which, I mean, you could have, just because your map control is so good. But if you ever lose the map control, this dies. So this is this is basically your best spot. You know. Yeah, he's just stuck in his base. You've outside of you deciding to fight him in feudal, you've done exactly what you're supposed to do. He's overproduced units because look at his macro. He has 111 food. He's overproduced units. He's had to put up a lot of defenses. His villagers are not being efficient, and you haven't lost your army. Like huge thing is you haven't sacrificed your army. Yeah, you lost a archer here, and you took too much damage on a knight. But like you've been very effective at rotating, but not sacrificing your army, but maintaining pressure. I talked about this in my breakdown of the EGC TV games. What pros are so good at is building a military and being present near the opponent. So they're like, I need to make units, and they overmake units, and then they hit castle, they hit a second TC, and use that feeling of pressure when there's actually not that many units there. So that part of the strategy is effective. Don't throw your military away, though. No! Okay, so that's what you can't do. You cannot throw your army away. This is a nice little raid here. I don't know if you're going to get much, because only 4 archers, but like, you don't want to throw your army away like that when you're entering castle, because you want to upgrade these. And 2, he'll realize you actually have no military, and then he'll just rush across the field. And if he's good at that, he might catch you before you can upgrade anything. Like, if I'm him, I'm sending this across the map right now. Okay, you're lucky. A higher level player realizes, oh, that's all he has. But that's it. And he just YOLOs this across the map. Because he needs to do damage right now. And if also I'm him, I know that you have to be on resources. So I know you're either on this deer or this deer. And if I'm him, I'm probably rushing this deer. And then that leads him to your landmark. And that's most of your food. So you needed to maintain that pressure, but not take an engagement at all. So he never has a feeling of how many units you have. Is he? Where's his scout? Did he move the mill? Because he had a scout near your base for a while. Did you kill his scout? I think you did. Okay. Good. He has no vision. That's another thing. If you have someone boxed in like this, killing their scout's huge. Because then they literally have no idea what you're doing. This is your time to take the boar, by the way. Once these are done building barracks, build one more barracks, and then these 8 can go to the boar. And I like this. Use your pure men at arms. Get on gold. I would want a monastery down to start gathering relics, and then you just make men at arms and you walk in. He's gonna be rushing castle though, so love it, love it. No, send these men at arms at least to here. You want them here right now. Your other goal is, you know he's going to try to age up. The thing you want to do is try to catch the age up. Because if you can get your men at arms in when he ages up and just shut that down, that's huge. So scouting, once again, this game is all scouting. All scouting. Going to the board now. Yep. Beautiful. Magnifique. You need a lot of men at arms. You saw how big his military is, so you need a lot of men at arms. Okay, cross. The biggest thing is still no... You just got your barracks done. No, not just, because you got these upgrades. I love that you focus on the arrow defense. Huge. Arrow defense, huge. Because you know you're going to be walking under TC and longbows. The next thing you want to get is either bloomery, because you want your men at arms to do a little bit more oomph. Or you want military academy, because your goal is just mainlining men at arms across the map. You should drop another barracks, and you're just going. Because the key is that you have to get there before he's getting his white tower up right now. That sucks. Because his white tower can actually hold this, but you can at least cut off this. But you once again, you kind of won. Just because his white tower is here. Like, this is awful. He should have put that here. A white tower here secures this gold, this food, this wood, these farms. A white tower back here basically says, I give up. I'm not leaving here at all. So, once again, success. Success. But that's mostly because your opponent chose that. You couldn't have stopped him from putting a better age up. I would still go, but my focus now would be getting up a monastery. You got one, beautiful. You're basically just like 45 to a minute off of what I suggest. Here, key thing here. To make sure you're not having to wash this too much, you want to, when you're making a warrior monk or any religious unit of any civ, you want to hold shift, hit click, and back on the monastery. Q, first one goes. Second one, once the first one goes, do the same thing here. Q one up, shift, click, click. And now you have 2 out and they're getting them for you. And then when they drop them off, you then do the shift again. And now you have 2. Boom. Drop off. Boom. Drop off. This is great because the worst thing you do right now is secure no extra advantage and just throw your units away. I think you have the force to go right now. Hey. But securing relics and things like that help that if for some reason something goes wrong, you still have that eco advantage. Once again, we need a macro stack. What's holding you back? Gold's holding you back. You cannot be in castle and have 5 on gold. You need 10 on gold right now. 10 on gold right now with your current food production allows you to just go insano on men-at-arms and anything else you want. Because you have to think about it. Your sub-goal should be to try to win this game before your food runs out. You're about to run out of deer. You bent the deer here. You're using this boar. And you have a shit ton of food, but once those hunts run out, you're going to be out of food. Like, instantly. So you either have 2 options. Your goal is, I'm going to win this game right now. And the secondary goal is, I like this. You're rallying to wood, though I would have done this after I had about 10 or 15 on gold. And what needs to happen is, as your food starts to run out, you're putting villagers on farms back here. Or on these deer. And you can also just put them on these berries, and as you're getting the wood, just set up farms all around back here. But luckily, you can kind of delay that for a while. I would have attacked already with this men-at-arms. At least tried. Because you lost scouting. One, I would have made a scout immediately. You have the stable. I would have set the scout forward. And you kind of missed your opportunity. You had this window where you had men-at-arms and he had nothing to counter them. But now he's maxed out a lot of units. 55 eco. 46. That's nice. That's nice. All you could do is just go second TC to really secure an advantage. You haven't upgraded the archers yet? You've been making archers. You didn't upgrade them to veteran? Veteran archers changes this fight so much. Veteran archers are huge here. Now, your men-at-arms are going to clean up, but like veteran archers really just puts the nail in the coffin. And the reason to get veteran archers, you didn't have gold. Because you were making men-at-arms. And you got upgrades and stuff. You really needed to get men-at-arms, upgraded archers, I mean. Why don't you have a market down? Because really this is the case of, if you had a market down, you could have sold wood and just gotten the upgrade immediately. I'm telling you, upgraded. You see what he did? He like sniped out all your archers and things like that because he knows that's what's gonna kill his crossbows that he needs to make. Yeah, upgraded archers, veteran archers changes that entire battle. Alright. I like this. He's not leaving his base. F it. He's not leaving his base. You can grab that. Remember, so you asked that question. I think it was you. You were like, when can I grab the hunt near my opponent? Now's the time. He ain't leaving his base. This one you can't do because he will walk out of his base here. But like this, F it. Like you can't get all of it. You can get these. Because he ain't leaving. He's not leaving his base. He's going to keep building farms down here. He knows he can't leave. If your army stays here, you could bring up a group and harvest this food. But no, you'd probably have to leave at some point. But at this point, it's just walking in and winning. You have him at this point. Yeah. So overall, I'm going to kind of summarize as you finish up. overall, you played this well. I think there's some timing things that could have been a little bit better. One, I think you could have gone to the hunt sooner. I like the second TC. I think you could have gone hunt sooner, which would have given you more food, which either could have got you to castle faster, or could have got you to feudal units faster. I think your game plan was overall was very good. Pressure into castle, into men at arms, push him to the front of his base and keep him there. Because your pressure did exactly what it was supposed to do. Some minor things will help you do this a lot more effectively. Scouting sooner, making sure you're not throwing units away early, making sure you're always keeping your scout with your units, and then splitting up your raiding forces. Like have your main force in one spot, but a couple raiders on the other side will really help you get the maximum out of your raids. And then make sure you get down blacksmiths faster for arrow defense. I think would be huge. And just make sure your early macro is very good, but as you add more villagers, you tend to lose it. Which tells me you're not checking your resources as much. So like you relied food, and then you kept relying to food too much. You needed more wood. So keep on asking yourself, what am I making right now? What am I trying to do? And adjust your villagers as you do that. The faster you do that, the more effective you will be in response. But yeah, I think you played a good game. And with some minor fixes, I think you would have done even more dominant performances. If you keep playing like this, you'll keep rising, and then you'll hit your next level of players, and then you'll find out the next things you need to do better. But overall, good job, man.